Hey everyone, it's Hailey, and today I'm going to be doing my December book haul. So I'm sorry that this video is going up late. If you can't tell by my voice and the fact that I sound really weird, I have a really bad cold and I got that on Christmas Day, which was a really great Christmas present, but I'm trying to kind of power through it, and I still did want to get up a video for you guys. It was just when I was going to film it, I felt way too crappy to actually film. I still really don't feel that well, but I was able to kind of just get myself going and put on a face and film for you guys. So without further ado, let's just get into this. And I know in my last book haul I said I was going to start doing them in the middle of the month now, and this is clearly not the middle of the month, it's the end of the month / year, but I have way too many books to save them up for the middle of January, so we're just gonna do one last hurrah of an end of the month book haul for the end of the year, and then I will get back to the regular middle of the month book hauls in January. So I'm gonna start off with the Alice things that I got, because it really wouldn't be one of my book hauls if there weren't at least one edition of Alice on it. So the first thing that I got is this carousel book that's by Macmillan, and we got this in at my work like really randomly, and I just had to pick it up because it's the coolest thing that I've ever seen. So it's the Alice books, but it's really difficult to show you, but it's like in an octagon carousel thing. So I don't know if you can really see it, but it like has all of the scenes in it. It is like absolutely beautiful, and I definitely needed this for my collection. Like once I have a room with more space, I will probably just keep that out and as an art piece, but it is so beautiful, really cool, and I was super excited that we got this at my work. Next up, I went to Barnes & Noble this month, so I ventured across the border. I do live border city, so it's not too far of a journey to a Barnes & Noble, but I don't make it out there that often. But anyways, I ended up getting a few, 3 actually, of their Barnes & Noble Classics editions. I love these leather-bound Classics editions. They're like the one thing that I love about Barnes & Noble rather than the bookstore that I work at. I wish we had something like this. They're just absolutely beautiful, and this one is silver and purple, and I love the end papers on it, and I just am really happy to have this to add to my collection. Then I also picked up this edition, which is kind of like a hard soft cover. It's kind of funny, I don't really know how to describe it, but this one is also one of the Barnes & Noble Classics editions, and it has really pretty end papers, the pink, and I really like how it says Curiouser and Curiouser on the back, and yeah. And the last edition that I picked up at Barnes & Noble is this huge one, which has Alice's Adventures in Wonderland as well as other stories by Lewis Carroll, so it has all of his poems and stuff like that, and it's really giant, but it is beautiful, and I really love it. It's gold on the edges, and like I really love the end papers on this one as well, and it's just a very lovely edition. And the final version of Alice that I picked up is this one right here, which is from 1941. I was really excited when I found this. It's published in 1941, and it's just so cool to me how old it is. Like, it smells like an old book, and I just really love it because of how old it is. I think it's just very cool. Now getting to the other books that I picked up, I also picked up the entire Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. I hadn't read these before, but I had really wanted to, so I decided to pick up my own copies to kind of encourage that, and I have read the first 2. I know there's a lot of debate about the order of these, but I'm reading them in chronological order just because I prefer to read things in chronological order rather than publication order. I don't know, that's just how I am. So I have read The Magician's Nephew as well as The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then I still have to read The Horse and His Boy. This is really difficult. Prince Caspian. Oh my gosh, my hands are very full. The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair, and finally The Last Battle. And I'm really glad that I picked up these editions because I really love the covers on them. Before I forget, because I know I will, because I almost did, I wanted to show you guys a couple of the adult coloring books that I got this month. So I ended up picking up Magnificent Ocean and Magnificent Animals, which are National Geographic coloring books. The Ocean one is by Justin Poulter, and the Animals one is by Hairula Kaya. I probably said that wrong, but I really love these. They have beautiful illustrations of animals, and I love the fact that they're not too intimidating. Like, they don't have tiny spaces. I just really enjoy these, and I did color one in if I could find it. Did I just pass by it? I can't really, yeah, I did. Okay, here it is. Oh my gosh. And I colored in the zebras, which was really easy because black and white. Next up, I have a few books that I received from Indigo, the bookstore that I work at, so thank you to them for sending these to me. The first one is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard, which was also accompanied by Wind Witch by Susan Dennard. Now, I'm really sad to say that I have not read either of these. I did start reading Truth Witch, but I just wasn't really in the mood for it, so it wasn't really grasping my attention. So I do plan on giving it another try very soon because I want to read Wind Witch really badly. I know a lot of you guys are dying for this book, so I feel really bad that I have it and I haven't even read the first one, so I'm going to try and rectify that very, very soon. And then also from Indigo, I got By Your Side by Casey West. This is coming out on Valentine's Day, and I have read it and I plan on doing a review for it very, very soon. I really loved this story. It's all about a girl who gets locked in a library with a guy, and I mean, I just love the fact that she's locked in this library. I'm sorry, my voice is like going, but it was a fantastic read. I loved it. It was like a romance that had a little bit more substance to it. It was just fantastic, and you guys know if you watched the last day of Bookmas where I talked about my top 12 books that I read this year, that this was definitely on that list, so I really loved it. Next up is a book that I received from Disney Hyperion, so thank you so much to them for sending this to me, and it is A List of Cages by Robin Rowe. They were nice enough to send me a finished copy of it. I love the cover, and under the dust jacket it is like just as beautiful, if I can actually get it off. It has like the stars on it. It's a really beautiful book, and it sounds like the story is going to be really beautiful as well. It's all about a boy with ADHD, and that's about all that I can really remember, but that's fine. I kind of want to go into it blind and just read it for what it is, and I'm really excited to be reading this, and I will be doing a video surrounding this book later in the month of January, because this month is almost over, as well as this year. Anyways, next up we had a sale at my work, so I ended up taking advantage of that and picking up a few books that I had had my eye on for a while. So the first one is Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I actually finished this book last night and I really enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it quite as much as Illuminae. Illuminae is the first book in this trilogy. This is the sequel. Illuminae, I found I had more of an attachment to the characters and I just enjoyed the story more. I was a little bit more afraid and engaged, but with this one I didn't quite get that. But that being said, I did still give it a 4 out of 5 stars. This isn't a wrap up, this is a haul. If you want to know more of my thoughts, I will be including this in my wrap up, and I also will be doing a review for it very soon. I have not talked this much in a while, so this is like killing me right now, and I still have another video to film, so this is excellent. But anyways, the next book that I got is Bright Smoke Cold Fire by Rosamund Hodge. Rosamund Hodge is the author of Cruel Beauty, and I really enjoyed that book, but I found it to be very confusing. She was trying to intertwine a bunch of different ideas and it just wasn't very well explained. It didn't work very well, but this one is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, whereas the other one was a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I know she has a Little Red Riding Hood retelling as well. But I love Shakespeare, so I'm really intrigued to read some retellings of Shakespeare, and I don't think I've really read any, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in here. I feel like it's focusing on the nurse for some reason, Juliet's nurse, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm just gonna kind of go into it and see what happens. Next, I picked up Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan. I was intending to read this during Bookmas, but I ended up just getting too preoccupied with work and family being home and other books and all this stuff, so I didn't end up finishing this or reading really any of it during Bookmas, but I did read, I think I read like 15 pages, and I did enjoy the 15 pages, but I can't really judge a book on 15 pages, but I'm going to be putting this on the back burner and saving it for next Bookmas, and I will read it then. Next up is The Warrior Heir by Cinda Williams Chima. This is a book that I have been meaning to pick up for forever. I've really wanted to dive into this author's works because she has a ton of stuff out there, and this is where I am choosing to begin. I think it's the right place to start. I don't really know though, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Next up is Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella. This is Sophie Kinsella's venture into YA. She's the author of the Shopaholic series, and I believe this is her first YA book. I'm not entirely sure on that though, so don't quote me, but I'm really looking forward to reading this one. It deals with a main character who has anxiety, and I'm just really excited to see how they deal with that topic. Next up is Alice in Zombieland by Gina Showalter. This is one that a lot of people had been recommending to me, and I obviously was intrigued by it because I do love Wonderland so much, but I hate zombies, so I was putting it off, but then I found it for like a really great deal, so I was like, okay, fine, I'll get it. And then I was informed in the last video where I mentioned it that it really isn't anything like Wonderland. It's just about a girl named Alice who kills zombies, so I don't really think I'm gonna like it, but since I do have it, I'm going to give it a shot. I just don't know when, but I really don't think it's going to be for me, but maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. I don't know, we'll see. Next up is 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. This book came out a while ago. I believe it's called the Firebird trilogy, but the third book just came out, and I'm not even sure if it's a trilogy actually. I don't really know, but I love the covers for this series, and I have been wanting to get it for a very long time, really just because of the covers, but I've also heard fabulous things about it, and it's like a sci-fi with parallel universes and time travel, and it's really well done, so I'm really excited to read this. Next up is The Fill-In Boyfriend by Casey West. After reading By Your Side, I decided that I really wanted to try her other stuff. I have read P.S. I Like You, and I didn't like that one, but I think that this one might be more up my alley. A lot of people have really recommended this one to me, and I think it's gonna be great for like in the thick of midterms and like a really cute, just fluffy romance read. I think it will be perfect for that time. Next up is Wanderlust by Jen Malone. This was on either my most anticipated releases for spring or summer of this year. I'm not quite sure, but I was really looking forward to this book, but I never got around to picking it up, and now I finally have a copy, and I'm going to be saving it for summer because it's a really summery read. It's about a girl who ends up taking over for her sister in this tour guide agency. She ends up being the tour guide in Europe because her sister got into a lot of trouble, so she's pretending to be her sister, but then she ends up sparking up a romance with the owner of the tour company's son, so it's all messed up, and she's like guiding around this group of old elderly people, so it's like absolutely adorable, and I'm really excited to dive into this one. So now we're at the final 3 books. I'm sure you guys can see now why I decided to do a book haul at the end of the month as well as in the middle of the month, because I do still have books that I've ordered that are coming in, so it's just ridiculous. Plus I'm going shopping today, like I just can't be stopped right now. But anyways, this next book is The Land of Stories by Chris Colfer. Chris Colfer is the guy from Glee. Yes, I didn't mention that in my last video, but like I said the name and all the comments were, is that the guy from Glee, blah blah blah, but yes it is, and he has this series and I've heard nothing but great things about it. I know a lot of people have been coming into my store and they love this series so much, and the last book is coming out later in 2017. I think it's mid 2017. I don't really know, but whatever, I'm really excited for it, and I have been wanting to dive into the series for a while. It sounds like it's like Once Upon a Time, but like middle grade, so I'm really excited for it. Next up is The Young Elites by Marie Lu. I've read Legend by Marie Lu, that whole trilogy, and I really enjoyed it, and this one is very different than that. It's a fantasy, and there was a plague that went across their land, and the survivors they have these strange markings, and accompanying that they have these strange powers, so it sounds very intriguing, kind of like The Darkest Minds, and I'm really excited to dive into it. And the final book in this book haul is Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, The Hammer of Thor, which is book 2 of this series by Rick Riordan. I have not even read book 1 yet, but I got a crazy deal on this one, so I had to pick it up, and I'm really looking forward to diving into Magnus Chase. I just haven't yet. I have no clue why, but it's definitely at the top of my TBR for 2017. I also really quickly wanted to show you guys the kind of bookish merchandise, whatever, that I got for Christmas. So first off, I got these 2 little pop dolls. It's the Mad Hatter and Alice, and they're the little Dorbs by Funko Pop. I love them. Then I also got this little Cheshire Cat trinket box. I know I'm saying Cheshire wrong because everyone always comments on it, but I have no clue how to say it, and I'm sick, so give me a break. But it's like a really cute little trinket box, like his head opens, and yeah, it's really cute, and I really enjoy this. The final 2 things I got from my parents, and they are once again Alice themed, but I absolutely love them, and they are from the Disney Traditions collection by Jim Shore. So the first one is this one right here, where it's a scene, it's the Mad Tea Party scene, and it says Merry Unbirthday on it. I absolutely adore this. It is so beautiful, and even on the back it says Alice in Wonderland. Like, I need to show you guys close up because it is gorgeous. Yeah, so you guys can see all the detail that went into this. It's like absolutely amazing, and I love it. it, and thank you so much to my parents for getting this for me because I love it. And also from that collection I got this one, which is Alice Sitting on a Mushroom, and it is called Changed So Much Since This Morning, and it is just as beautiful. Like, I'm so excited to put these in my room because they are gorgeous. So you guys can see this one right here, like the colors are beautiful, and Alice, like, I just really love these. So that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what books you guys got for Christmas or what books you picked up this month, if you guys had a good Christmas, all of that stuff. And yeah, I will see you guys